Hi, Casey Mitzel, Certified Health Coach, and I'm here today to talk to you about movement and exercise. So really what we're talking about is two completely different things, general activity and scheduled exercise. General activity are chores around the house, things that need to get done, your normal living, and then of course, what happens above and beyond that is your scheduled exercise. All right, so let's talk about how to increase just everyday movement. And everyday movement is actually going to have a more dramatic impact on your total energy expenditure throughout the day because you're dealing with 24 hours of activity here versus maybe the 20, 30 minutes or 60-minute workout that you might do. So every little bit of this will add up and have a dramatic impact on your overall fitness and health goals. So let's take a look at what they are. You have stance, which is your posture. You have standing. You have strolling, which is walking. Stairs. Never miss the opportunity to take stairs if they're available. If you can physically do them, you should do the stairs over an elevator or an escalator. Okay? The next one would be samba, or dancing, getting up, moving around, enjoying the music, and then of course your switch, or switching it up. And what that means is why do something with a labor-saving device if you can do it manually? And that would be something as simple as getting up and changing the channel on your television without using the remote control. So these are all things that you can do that will increase your total energy expenditure without having to add a structured exercise program. One of the first steps that we can make is basically how to start increasing your total energy expenditure, just your daily movement. Just throughout the day, many of us are going to be stuck on a computer or at a computer desk or office chair. And one of the first things we can do is just take a look at our posture and making sure that we're staying in an upright position, our core is activated, belly button tight, actually kind of pulled and drawn into the spine. And basically what this does, it allows for the muscles to be a little bit more active. What we want to avoid when we're on the computer is a slouched position, forward head, rounded back, or if you're watching videos or something on YouTube and you just find yourself leaning back and just relaxing for numbers of minutes or hours in the day, then this can actually be a huge area where you can increase your calorie burn by just being in an upright position. So if you want to take it a second step higher, then what I would recommend is what we do here at the office at the fitness studio is we have a stability ball office chair combination. And I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so here's what we have. It's a stability ball on an office chair. And with this, it's going to give me a constant reminder that I need to stay in this upright position just because it's a little bit unstable. So with this, I can stay upright. If you're antsy or anxious person or you have music playing in the background, you might find yourself kind of moving side to side or bouncing up and down a little bit while you're reading an email, and this can actually increase calorie burning as well. So it's kind of a fun, cool way to stay active while you're at the computer, and especially when you're trying to break that habit of getting out of an office chair and increasing that posture or that stance. Another one would be just a stability ball by itself without the actual chair. That's an even easier solution and readily available for most people. So another area where we can talk about stance or posture is in your vehicle. So some of us spend considerable amounts of time in our car, others maybe not so much. But it is important that when you're in your car, you are in a seated position with your posture tall, your core nice and tight and activated, and that your seat is not too far back so you have to stretch for the gas pedal or for the brake, and that you're at the appropriate distance away from your steering wheel. If you wear a wallet in your back pocket, this would be the time to take it out. You don't want to sit on that while you're driving or be in this relaxed, twisted, seated position here that you sometimes see people driving in. This can obviously cause some distortion in your muscles, and if you spend a long time in here, if you don't get out and properly stretch or warm up before you do some activity, this can actually put you at risk for additional challenges. So another great way to increase total energy expenditure is by standing. So if you have that option to work from a wireless laptop or an iPad or a tablet, and you can place that on a kitchen counter or a kitchen island or even a desk that's been built taller so that you do have to stand up in order to be in front of your monitor, then that's an ideal situation for burning additional calories. Watching television while standing or watching your favorite football team while standing is actually going to burn a heck of a lot more calories than if you're lying back just hanging out on the couch. Okay, no, that sounds great. We'll get back to you next week. All right. No, good, all right. Just out on a little stroll right now. Okay, well, I'll tell you what, I'll give you a call a little bit later tonight. All right, look forward to it. Bye. Another great way to increase your total energy expenditure is by going for a walk. Anytime you have an excuse to get up and move around, I highly recommend you take advantage of it. So that's the number one goal. How do we get people moving more in just their daily lives? Then, when you start feeling amazing, you're seeing the benefits of exercise, or you're having that desire to take it to the next level, then we have that structured exercise or that scheduled exercise program. All right, so how much is too much exercise and how much is not enough? Well, that's the question that a lot of people ask, and oftentimes they don't know where to start, so they just go to the nearest health club facility and they just get on a treadmill or push a few weights without maybe knowing exactly what order of events they should do, or how many days a week, or even the right movement pattern. So what we want to make sure is that somebody doesn't start an exercise program that's overly aggressive, because actually starting a program that wears you down, gets you stiff and sore, is extremely painful. It's hard to look forward to those type of workouts unless you're specifically doing that because you're an advanced athlete, and then that's going to have a negative effect on your overall ability to keep up that pace. So is this a program that you can do over a long period of time, and that you can actually maintain this through your whole journey of your entire optimal health life? That's really what we're talking about. We want this to be something that you can do, that you look forward to on a regular basis. A very good place to start is a walking program, and a walking program where you're keeping track of your total steps or miles or how many times you go around the block, and seeing some progressions there would be fantastic. We like to work on the FIT principle: frequency, intensity, time, and type. Frequency is the number of times per week that you plan on working out. Intensity is that perceived rate of exertion, or what percentage of your target heart rate that you're shooting for while you're working out. And then, of course, the time is the minutes of the day. And then type, which is the form of activity you're going to be doing. So that could be cycling, that could be biking, that could be dancing, that could be walking. So really it's important to take a look at your overall schedule and what's going to fit in, because consistency wins the battle when it comes to exercise. Okay? Ideally, we would want people increasing their level of activity of 30 minutes a day every single day. What's important for us to figure out is, with that frequency, intensity, time, and type, how can we build that into a routine? So what does that look like? Well, let's say that you only have 3 days a week to work out. Well, then we have to take a look at the time. So can you commit to 20 minutes? Okay, fantastic. So the intensity that we're going to go at is going to be about 65% of your target heart rate zone for your bout on the treadmill. Okay, so your frequency is 3 times a week, your intensity is 65% of your target heart rate zone, and your time is 20 minutes, and your type is walking or running on the treadmill. Okay, so where we go from there is, if nothing's changed with the number of days that you can work out, then obviously we're going to increase more intensity, or even time or type again. I like to reserve the type for maybe a couple of weeks into it, so as your body starts to adapt to that particular movement, we can switch over to something else. But let's take a look at intensity. If we go from 65 to 70%, maybe that's getting to an uncomfortable zone for you. And if that's the case, then we leave that one off the board, and we go to the time. So 20 minutes, now we increase to 25 minutes 3 times a week, or 30 minutes 3 times a week. And once we get to a point where that time starts to get a little overbearing, then now what we'll probably do is switch the type of exercise that you're doing. And that will cause a whole new change in how your body perceives that particular movement, because now you're doing something else and it has to try to adapt to that. So that's a good way of progressively working into your exercise, finding that sweet spot of what fits into your consistent schedule and what is actually appropriate for the amount of stimulus that your body needs to help you accomplish whatever fitness goal that you're shooting for. Activities outside of your structured exercise, playing sports with your kids, getting out throwing the baseball or the football around. My son loves to play basketball, so getting out there and playing basketball with him helps me increase my daily movement above and beyond my structured exercise program. And then, of course, just going for a walk. So there's so many different things you can do for your fitness structured exercise. So if it's working out at home, it's working out at the health club of your choice. It could be working with a personal trainer, or starting working out in a group class where you have the structured element of instructor-led program, but you also have the support and the encouragement from the rest of the people working out. And that's one of my favorites. I think that's really critical in people sticking with the program, is having that social network of people who really do care that they're there working out alongside them. Following that FIT principle, increasing your general activity, and then of course paying attention to your nutritional needs, and you pretty much will have the type of results that you're looking for. I'm Casey Mitzel, Certified Health Coach, and good luck.